Hi everybody. Hope you guys are all having a great day today. It's a little cooler this morning, not too bad. Going to work on the Eduard USS Arizona in 1/350th scale. This will be part 4. In this video, what I'm going to hope to do is get the holes drilled through the base and the hull, get the nuts glued to the inside so I can remove the hole for painting and so forth. And if all works out, we'll get the wood base stained. I'm going to have to sand that a little bit and then get it stained and see how it all looks. I'm sure I'm going to have to give it some time to dry in between doing things. And then eventually I'll probably put a clear polyurethane or maybe an oil finish or something on the wood, which will come soon down the road. I haven't decided yet. We'll see what the stain looks like once I get it all down. Anyway, let's go down to the bench and we'll see if we can't get something done here. All right, be right back, guys. Thank you. What I've done so far, I haven't even taken this out of the plastic, as you can tell. And there's a little bit of distortion in my table. The wood is perfectly flat, but the table is a little bit dished. Anyway, I put a piece of tape close to center and I measured it side to side and come up with a center line. I don't remember who it was, but some people, or someone anyway, mentioned that it would look good if I did a third, a third, and a third for the brass standoffs. And thank you for that suggestion. I think it looks just perfect that way. So what I'm going to do, my ship is 21 inches long, so that's 7 inches in front, 7 between, and 7 at the end. So I went to my center and I went 3.5 inches both ways. So I've got points here where I want my holes. Okay, so I'll go ahead and mark that with my awl. Exactly where I want it. And I've got this is a 1/4 inch drill bit, which is the exact right size. So I'll drill these. And I also did this. I went and I put a piece of tape on the center line of the ship, figured out the center this direction, and did the same thing. And I double checked, and the distance between these 2 points and these 2 points are exactly the same. So when it's on the base, it should set just about like so. Okay. One thing I might run into is this was made to where it could be motorized, so I might have to remove some of the plastic here just to let's get more light on there, just to give me room to get the nut and everything in there. So I'm going to shut the camera off. I've got my trusty drill here, and I'll get these drilled because it's going to be kind of loud. And I'll come back and I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm not going to use this on the hull. That's just too aggressive. So I'll do this in 2 or 3 stages. But I'll get these holes drilled and then I'll be right back to show you what I've done. Okay? Here we go. 1/4 inch holes, 7 inches apart. The back side, I went ahead and recessed the holes just a little bit with a 1/2 inch drill bit. If you're using metrics, you'll have to figure it out for your bolts. Everything goes in good, and the heads are recessed to where they won't scratch furniture or anything. So let's go ahead and put these through here. That's kind of where we're at there. Okay, and then with this, I've got that one done too. I opened it up as big as I could with my little drill bits, and then I took a Dremel and just went around. I didn't want to use that big power drill because I was afraid I might crack something. Ran into an issue here like I thought I would. This is really, really close to this little battery box, so I'm going to have to nip that and sand it back. Let's see how it fits. Let's see here. There we go. Just like that. Okay. I think, whoops, I shouldn't have raised it up like that. The screw fell out. Let me get this fixed real quick. Little blooper on camera there. Okay. We're gonna do it this way, if I can. Okay, that's what she looks like. I think that looks really nice. It's got just the right amount of distance on each end, and it's centered real well on each side. Get you back on camera here. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to trim this out. So I'll get my heavy clippers. Don't use your high dollar clippers when you're just chunking things out. Okay. What I might just do is take a in my box. This is a scriber. We'll just take that scriber and remove the screw. And we'll run the scriber down there. Just like so. That should pretty well take that out. Just a few good passes. It should snap off. There we go. Not too bad. Okay, now we've got some pretty good room here for, take just a little bit more. The plastic on this is sure hard. Okay, it doesn't really matter which is front, which is the bow and which is the stern, because it's going to sit on there the same. What I'm going to do, I thought about this a lot, and I got some really good suggestions from several of you guys. Several suggested epoxy, several suggested super glue and sprue glue and some other things to hold that nut captive while I'm going to have to take this off 2 or 3 times before I actually have it on there permanently. I thought I might try milliput. It is an epoxy. It sticks real well to plastic and steel or metal, and it dries rock hard in a couple hours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand around here real good, and I'm going to sand the nuts a little bit just to make sure everything's nice and clean. And I'm going to take my milliput and mix up a little bit and put around both these nuts, and then I'll give it a couple hours to set up real nice and hard. Okay, I think that'll work just as good as anything else that was suggested. By the way, I really appreciate everybody's suggestions on this. First ship I've ever built. I've done a lot of modeling, but this is a little bit different. So all your suggestions and comments are very much appreciated. What I'm going to have to do, hang on a second here. Should have had this ready. I've I've got this walnut. It's a water-based wood stain in a walnut. It's kind of a dark brown. So what I'll do after I get the millie putt set up good and I can take this back apart, I'll sand this all really good, make sure I don't have any little splinters or slivers or anything, and then we'll come back and I'll show you, and then we'll get this thing stained, and then we'll see what the finish looks like. I imagine I might want to put a clear over it, so I'll have to figure out what I want to do for that, and then we can start figuring out, the hull, getting that glued together, and get some primer on it and start working up on the rest of the ship. So I'm going to sand this stuff real good and clean it real good and get some millie putt on there. So I'll be back once the millie putt's set up good. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. See you soon. Yeah, I decided just for fun I'd go ahead and record this part. I've sanded everything really good. I've sanded the nuts, scuffing the surface up because they were nice and shiny. And I've taken alcohol. I've cleaned everything really good. So let's mix up a little bit of millie putt, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, we need equal parts of these. I went ahead and put some gloves on today because this stuff is pretty sticky. I've got an old recycled bag. I save bags. I save a lot of stuff. Let's cut off a pretty good sized chunk here. Just using a metal ruler, which you can wipe millie putt off with water or alcohol till it dries or till it gets close to dry, and then it's pretty difficult to get off. Okay. Looks like about equal portions. We'll see how far that goes. Clean the ruler up in a bit. Knead it really good. Let's see here. If you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. I get notifications popping up while I'm trying to record, so I can't see my screen. There we go. That took care of that. Okay. Knead things up real good. And boy, when this stuff dries, it's going to be just, you can grill it, you can sand it. It's very, very hard. I had a little piece here I threw away, but I don't know if you could stain it. I know you can paint it. But anyway, just a thought. And you can use alcohol and thin this quite a bit and make a little bit of a paste out of it. Use it for a filler. Let's go ahead and get some of this on here. You got a good hour working time with this. It's not like it's going to set up immediately. I want to make sure I don't get any on that screw. I may have to clean some of it off with a toothpick. You guys probably can't see what I'm doing. Still a little more over here. I wouldn't be surprised if you couldn't just put a big blob of this where you want the thread and wait for it to harden and come back and drill it out and tap a thread into it. Okay, I'm going to grab a toothpick here. I'll move that out of the way and just make sure there's nothing right up against that thread. I don't think it'd lock it in, but you never know. Just clean it back just a little bit. Okay. Make sure there's nothing on the thread. Clean it just a little bit. Okay, looks fine to me. That's pretty much all there is to it. Make sure everything's nice and clear. So nothing gets stuck. Okay, I'm very happy with that. I think that'll keep those nuts captive just like I want them. And then I can remove the base a couple of times till I get the painting and everything exactly the way I want it. And then that'll be there permanently. Okay, I'm going to let this set for a couple hours and get nice and hard, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what we're doing and carry on from there. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. Okay. I went ahead and let it set all night. I had some other things to do. So now it's about 6:30 in the morning, so it's nice and cool. And let's go ahead and pull these decks off, and we'll take a look and see how our milliput did. Everything's nice and hard. Looks like it did just exactly what I wanted it to. Next step will be I'll separate these two pieces, and then we'll get the main part of the deck glued on. Side for right now. Make sure. Let's hope the milliput didn't stick to anything. Nope, they turn nice and free. Okay. No, you can't see what I'm doing too much. Okay, here's one out. Here's the other one. Okay, there's our two brass parts. This screw has just a tiny bit of milliput in the threads. I can clean that up easy enough with a wire brush, but yeah, I'm really happy with that. That worked out really well. But when I get ready to put this all back together, it's just simply a matter of screwing it back in. Okay, let's get this hole glued together. We'll put this aside. And We'll go without these for now. I've done a fair amount of fitting already. This is keyed, you know, it's an overlapping joint, but it'll require a very minimal little bit of filling. Actually fits pretty darn good. Okay, and we'll use I've got the Rebel contact. It's a nice thick glue. Then it gives me a little bit of working time. And I've got some rubber bands I'll use for clamps to make sure everything stays nice and tight while it's dry. Now the hole on top fits over the bottom, so I think I'll put the glue on the inside of this lip here, and then we'll flip it over and set it together. Okay. And I've already had to clear the needle. Last time I used it, it plugged up, so we should be all good to go. Let's get rid of these glasses. And we'll just start right up here. Go with a nice little bead of glue all the way around. Keep this moving on me. Okay. Put it around so I can see better. Okay, that should be all the way around. I'm sure this will plug up again before I use it again. Stick this together. Okay. This is sitting up just a tiny bit. I might put a little more glue right there. Clamp it. See if I've got a little stronger clamp here, maybe. This will do it. Yeah, that pulls it together really nice. The joint looks really, really good. It's going to take just a tiny little bit of filling, but I don't feel anything. as far as a lip. All looks really good. I think I'll put one more band through here. Okay. Okay, I'm very happy with that. I'm going to set this aside for a while, and um, I'll probably start sanding the base. There's no point in really doing that on camera because it's just sanding. It's kind of boring. The a little paper cut there. This stain is really concentrated. It's a 50-50 mix with water. So I got to make sure I cut that back before I stain the base. But I'll be back in a little while and we'll look at getting some staining done. Okay, guys, see you in a bit. I've sanded the wood all over. I'm sorry you can't really see the whole thing. I'm back about as far as my camera can go. But I went over the whole thing with 400 grit sandpaper. The only place I found any real issues was where the router bit goes across the end grain. It kind of tore a little bit. So I spent some time sanding that, trying to clean that up to where it's nice and smooth. I think I got it pretty good. I sanded both sides. I didn't realize until I started sanding this that this is actually two pieces of wood. There's a glue joint just right down here, which doesn't hurt a thing. It's just a nice soft piece of pine. So I'm real happy with that. I've wiped it down with a damp cloth. I've tacked it off. I went over everything with my little roller here and picked up any kind of lint and dust. I've got a piece of this is some old pillowcase recently laundered, and I'll just use that. Looks like I got a little piece of lint on there, and I'll use that for spreading the dye out or the stain. So I've already shaken this really good. I've got a couple of pipettes here for dumping the. Let's not do that right over the wood. See how this goes. We got a seal. Okay. Okay. I've never used this brand before. Guess I should put my gloves on. Okay, let me get these gloves on. So I don't want to be walking around with stained hands for a week or two. Okay. All right. I'm not sure just how far this is going to go. So we'll mix up a little and then we'll use that and mix up some more if needed. Okay, let's go ahead and that's just about 2 milliliters. So let's go again. There's 4. 6. 8. Okay, let's call that good for a few minutes. I'm sure I'm going to need more. And then I've got some water here. Another pipette. That's just a little more than 2. Okay, there's 2. 4. 6. 8. Okay. Let's see how far that goes. Stir it up just a little bit. Okay. Bit of a foil cap there. Let's go ahead and give it a try on the back side first, just to get an idea of how dark it is. It's fairly light. Might want to give this a couple of coats. We'll see. I like the color. It's soaking in really, really well. Okay, I'm happy with that. We'll let her dry, and I'll decide from there if I need to give it another coat or not. But I really like that. I think that's going to look nice. Okay, guys. Probably going to call that good for this week's video, or not this week's video. I'm hoping to do more. But for this current video, I'm going to go ahead and call it good. And we'll be back real soon with more modeling. Alrighty, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.